The Wednesday week is sponsored by the Riverside Cafe, the perfect place for a pre-match pint.
There's a chance here, a great save by Turner from McClare. Mike Hunt, a terrific goal by Sheridan.
Brentman against Jones. Get in.
You could have two goalkeepers in there that would have trouble saving.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the Wednesday week, the Sheffield Wednesday podcast. I'm Lord Hillsborough, and with me on the line, first of all, we have Victoria, my darling. How the chuff are you?
Oh, that proper threw me then, because I was on mute and I was saying it word for word with you, and I was like, Mr. Marriott, and then you went Victoria. I was like, oh, hiya.
I thought I'd like mix it up and that and
That was it's like it's thrown me that. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my darling. And of course, we have Mr. Marriott, Jamesy Albin. How the chuff are you?
Do you know, normally I get a bit angry when you don't do me first, Lord. But it's Christmas, so I'm fine with it. It's all right. I'm feeling festive tonight. Very festive indeed.
It's Christmas.
Feeling festive and don't mind to be done second, Albin. Fantastic.
Yeah, do me whenever you want. It's fine.
We would like to apologise first of all. We unfortunately were unable to get together to record a show last week, which was unfortunate because there was so much wonderful Wednesday things to talk about, wasn't there, last week? But yes, we do apologise. Even if it's bad news, we do like to bring it to you, boys and girls. Speaking of which, let's have a chat about the Wolves game, shall we? Do
we have to talk about Wolves at home?
Can we not
talk about Wolves away?
Unfortunately, because I think it's fair to say that we were a little bit concerned, shall we say, about playing Wolves, because they have been, let's be fair, rather good this season. They have been slowly building like we have. Obviously, they have their own investment, but they didn't reach the playoff final in their first season. So they've not had quite the expectation that we've had, but they've done it really well. And this season, they're really cracking on, aren't they? So yes, we're all worried about this, and maybe just a little bit more worried when we saw the team announced, were we?
Oh, I didn't want to go there and then, to be honest. I was ill, I was miserable, I was cold. It was to my bones, my lord. You know when it gets into your bones?
It's not worse.
My hands are still cold. And I had 2 pairs of gloves on, I had 2 pairs of tights, a vest, a thermal vest, a pair of jeans, a Wednesday shirt, my Wednesday week hoodie, and my big coat, and I was still absolutely frozen. I've been poorly ever since.
You're worse than my mum.
I know. I think I'm just a sickly child. I might have got that scurvy.
You might have got that scurvy. Belgian blue's what you need.
No,
Cures all known ailments, and if you're a bit chilly, a couple of Belgian blue, you don't feel it anymore. If someone can punch you in the face, you don't feel it anymore. It's fine.
No, I do. And I felt everything that night.
Is that your way of telling us that you don't remember much about the game, Hobby?
What was the team?
Oh God!
We were the blue ones; they were the orange ones.
No, I know. I'm not stupid. I know that, but no, I don't. Yeah, I don't remember noticing anything about the teams when they came out. Other than some people didn't play, didn't they? God, I feel like a child.
9 of them, James.
So let's put this out there. So at the moment, out of the team, shall we say, especially for obviously the Wolves game, we had Westwood, Bannon, Hunt, Lee, Hutch, Boyd, Fletcher, and Festi. I think Lee was on the bench, wasn't he? But clearly wasn't going to play after the news that's come out later on. But when we saw the players were there, I don't mean to be disrespectful at all in the slightest, but I think we were all a bit, oh crikey, weren't we?
No, yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to say it now. This really, really winds me up, right? It's just, right. We could play Carlos Bingo, couldn't we, every week, or Sheffield Wednesday Bingo of what is the excuse going to be? Is it going to be a sending off? Is it going to be a penalty that we should have got or shouldn't have got or we shouldn't have given or whatever? Is it going to be this? Oh no, now it's injuries. Right, hold on a minute.
It's not an
Didn't you just sack every member of the medical and physical team and bring in your mates, and now you're blaming injuries? Oh God, if I had a roll of wallpaper, I'd be spray painting on it right now.
First of all, it's not an excuse, it's an explanation, Victoria. You're just seeing it as an excuse because you've got your Carlos out tinted spectacles on.
That's like me going to work in the morning and saying, I'm really sorry, really sorry I'm late. I forgot to put on my shoes. No,
it's not.
No, it's not a
It's not at
reason.
all.
Put
It's
on
like
your
you
bloody
going to-
shoes.
It's like you phoning work tomorrow morning saying, I'm poorly, I can't go into work.
There's a fair
I am
chance
unable
that'll
to
happen,
do my
actually,
job.
To be fair. I mean, you are ill. How many days have you been off ill this week? Just one?
I've had one day
it's
off
only-
ill this week. I've had like
it's only been
5
2 days
days
this
off
week
ill
so
in my
far, so-
entire career.
Do you think your boss is going to be saying, oh, that bloody Victoria, she can't go into work because she's poorly? And what would you say if people said that about you, Victoria? Would you say, oh, she's skiving, it's an excuse?
Do you know what, right? Do you know if you go on my time hop, I was in hospital this time last year, and was I working? Yes, I was. I was still on my emails. I had my laptop in the G ward at the Hallamshire unit. So yes, I was. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Yes, they might be injured. No. That's right. That's like me saying, I'm sorry, Lindsay, like my wonderful boss. I'm sorry I'm ill, but I sacked all my doctors last week and now no one can make me any better, so I'm just going to be ill for a bit. It's not an excuse. I sacked the doctor.
What about if the illness that you had was because of the doctor that you sacked and the new doctor is trying to fix the problems that the old doctor caused?
What a load of bollocks, my lord. What a load of bollocks.
Especially the big ones, the Fessy and the Hutch situation. These are
Yeah, right, but
injuries
they've been
from
out for the last year.
Exactly.
They've been out since last season, but that's not an excuse to lose to Wolves on a Friday night. They've been out all season. Jesus Christ, he's swanning around Madrid, isn't he? Like doing his weights.
Well, you could do that if you're poorly as well, Victoria. I'm sure Lindsay would be happy to pay for you to go to Madrid and get yourself all better, because then you won't have to wear your vest and your big coat.
It's bloody poppycock, this. Absolute poppycock.
But yes, the Wolves game itself. Now, obviously, we saw the team sheet. We were all a little bit worried. A lot of people were less trying to be disrespectful on the social medias when the team came out. And I was still trying to stay positive because we have a very good-ish second string. We have a very large squad, strength in depth and all that kind of thing. And to be fair, I don't think the team that was put out handled things too badly, if I'm perfectly honest. The only real sort of difference was a cracking goal from Wolves, wasn't it?
No. This is why there shouldn't just be 3 of us, because I'll always speak over James because he doesn't like to be rude to me, and you just mute yourself. So no.
What? I bloody love being rude to you. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, to the face. You're always nice to go on here, because then people come up to go, oh my God, you're friends in real life. But in real life, you're horrible. But anyway, no. That is like, say it right. We have been absolutely diabolical for the last, 2 months, at least. 5 shots in November, remember, right? All we did was play not as diabolical, but still pretty bad. And let's be honest, Wolves weren't up to much because they looked like they couldn't be arsed. They got 5 layers on and a vest as well. Like, it wasn't a good game, was it? Like, what are Sky doing? Why do they keep putting us on? I can understand against United because, it's a derby game. It was a huge score and all that. But stop putting us on telly. Like, I pay for Sky. I'm not going to pay anymore if you're going to keep putting that shite on.
Wolves didn't have 9 first-team players out, though, did they?
No, but they were still a damn sight better than us, and we were still absolutely awful. And we still had Mr. Hot Potato in midfield, who actually, I'll hold my hands up, wasn't as bad as I expected him to be. But that is not something.
Exactly.
That is not something I should be saying if we're wanting to get into the playoffs or if we're wanting to survive in the Championship. That is not something I should be saying, that Dave Jones wasn't as bad as I thought he'd be. That's not a good place to be. No.
Wow.
I think you're going to take some convincing tonight, aren't you, Vic? Sorry, James, go ahead.
Was that mic drop there? You just gone.
I just keep thinking I ought to stop speaking because I can see the levels I've been speaking at for like the last few minutes, and no one else.
You're like flatlining. You're off the chart.
Sorry.
I mean, I hate to be a beacon of common sense here, but the Wolves game I would sum up as I was one of several people that thought we might get taught a bit of a lesson, and we weren't. We played all right, average. They were better than us, and they deserved to win the game. On another day maybe we'd get something out of it, but I don't think we created enough to really try and stake a claim that we deserve to get something out of it. I don't think that we particularly looked like we got a great deal of idea going on, and we were a little bit dull. We were better than we played for large parts of the last few games before that, but we still were a long way from being anything other than average.
Look at you coming in with all your common sense. I thought,
is that a fair reflection?
Yeah, I'm just miserable. I went home at half time, so I went well. I was sat there and I said to my mum, I just turned around and I went, do you know what? I've got 5 layers on. I'm bloody miserable. I feel like crap. And I've got Sky TV, literally 30 seconds walk away, and central heating. Why am I sat here? I don't know. And I went home and I watched it on telly, and it was just as bad.
Because you're a super fan, Victoria. You're an absolute
No, I'm not.
super
No, I'm not. I bloody hate it.
I would like to take umbrage with the fact that we didn't create very much. I thought we created rather well on the day, and I think that the finishing seriously let us down.
We had almost as many shots as in the whole of November. Come on.
How many shots on target?
Well, that's the point, isn't it? It's not Carlos's fault that the players can't shoot the ball on target. I mean, the first glaring incident in the game, if you like, was the reach miss, where again cross from Palmer, and I would like to give Liam Palmer some, as the kids say, props. Well, probably the kids from 20 years ago, because I thought Palmer had
from Biker Grove.
Well, man. But I thought Palmer had a really, really good game. The first glaring miss, cross from Palmer, a lovely flick on by Rhodes, and Reach just had to hit the target, basically, and he didn't at all. And that was not Carlos's fault. Then another cross, and JVA headed the ball, which was our one on target, even though it didn't actually show as on target, which is strange because it was a save from the keeper, and it was a decent head, to be fair. Again, another cross from Reach, which Rose knocked on, and unfortunately did land to Liam Palmer. And although he did have a wonderful game, he's not the best in front of goal, is he, Mr. Palmer? Bless him.
Yeah, he's not, is he?
I love him to bits, but Jesus Christ, stay at the box, old bean. I think it almost went out for a throw in that one, bless him. Another cross from Reach where Hooper knocked it back, and to be fair, it was some decent defending from Wolves. There was a lovely chip from Wallace that went over to Hooper. Again, Hooper's first touch could have been slightly better, but again, it was more good defending from Wolves as well. And then finally, again, the cross from Palmer, which Zhao went up for. Yes, he nodded it over, but apparently it was a foul anyway. But I think we did create really, really well. And a lot of people are saying, oh, there's no crosses going to the box for Rhodes. And this. And a lot of these chances are coming from crosses from Reach and from Palmer.
Yes, but you've just named 5 shots off target in 98 minutes of football. That's not impressive. That's Fleetwood Town. Well, it's not even Fleetwood Town.
I'm also saying that's not the manager's fault that these players are missing these shots.
It is because he signed them. So it is. He signed it.
No, but
I've had enough. I'm going to throw up Mike. I'm going to stomp out. I'm going to go sit in attic and curse the North Stand.
Look at the North Stand. It calms me down. But no, the football is there. The chances are being created. We're just not finishing them. And that's, I think, where the problem is starting to come from.
But we weren't creating clear-cut chances, were we? We're creating half chances.
Yes. Well, that's what we should need.
A couple of those are probably half chances. And if you go back over probably the last month and a bit of football, we aren't creating enough chances. You can name a few that we created against Wolves, fine. But this is a recurring theme now where we are not creating enough clear-cut chances to win football games. And therefore, when you don't create enough chances to win a football game, chances are you are going to draw or lose a football game. And, the stats don't lie. We've lost 2 in a row now. We've not won since, I don't know, I think I was 25 last time we won a football match. It's
10 years ago.
Whichever way you look at it, it's 11 years. I'm afraid to say. Whichever way you look at it,
but I thought
it's really not rosy at the moment. I understand what you're saying, that it's not Carlos's fault that people miss chances, but he works with them all week on the training pitch to find the ways that they can break down these teams, and we knew exactly what Wolves were all about because they've been on, the TV every other week this season. Everyone's glowing about what they're doing. The top of the table. They're always, or nearly always, the first on the highlights show on Channel 5. It's not difficult to see what Wolves are about and what they do. So why are we not able to create clear-cut goal-scoring chances?
There's never going to be a clear-cut goal-scoring chance in the Championship, is there? The Wolves goal wasn't a clear-cut goal-scoring chance. It was a very, very well-placed strike from a decent striker. It wasn't a clear... They didn't create very many clear-cut chances. The defence, I thought, played rather well.
It was a crap game. That's what I'm saying. It was crap.
It wasn't
top of the league.
Interesting game.
It was not. You were just sat there with your blue and white spectacles with your home brew, and so it looked interesting to you. To every other bugger that pays 40 odd quid a month for Sky Sports, it looked bloody boring.
If you are watching what I've been doing on Twitter this week, a lot of people have been debating shows. I don't want to say arguing. I would like to say debating. And I don't know, maybe I watch football differently to other people, but whilst the ball is being passed backwards and sideways and all, and yes, it's chuffing boring to watch, don't get me wrong, if you're watching the ball, but watch the rest of the field as well, and watch how the players are trying to create space. We've spoken about it a million times on this podcast. That first season, brilliant, nobody respected us, everybody thought we were rubbish, and they left us a crap load of space. Now we have to create that space. And to do that, we have to pass it backwards and sideways to create the space that we need. And rather than watching the ball, watch the players that don't have the ball trying to drag people around and create that space. And that is the interesting bit.
Every team does this. And the problem is, for us at the moment, it's not working. We're not creating space, because if we were, we'd be creating goal-scoring opportunities. And we're not. So whatever we're doing, it ain't working. But
yes, and you know that
other teams it is working. So what are they doing right that we're not? Are they just teams that other people don't respect? Do people not respect Wolves or Cardiff?
No, they've not got 9 first-team players out.
Bristol City.
Do you know that Anton Deck song?
Of their first squad.
You know when Anton Deck did that World Cup song and they did that like bridge in it that like went Neville to Heskey, Heskey to da 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 da. Ours is literally Leuven's to Westwood, Westwood to Lees, Lees to Westwood, Westwood to Leuven's all the bloody time, and that's all I can sing in my head. It's
Right, Victoria, have you got some tablets?
Do you need to go to bed, Vic?
I've just got face on. It's just crap. I feel like crap. I don't want to watch him. I don't want to talk about him. I just don't even want to. I don't want to look at that awful kit. I've had enough. I've had enough. I'm going to Hallam FC.
I understand your frustrations, because I am frustrated as well, but I am trying to keep my glass half full. It is incredibly difficult at the moment. Luckily, Jeeves is on hand with a bottle at all times to keep that glass half full. But
I imagine your homebrew is probably helping quite a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, mine's got cobwebs in it, not let alone not half full.
Your homebrew? Oh, sorry, I thought we were having a different conversation. Yes, I must admit it's a lovely Mexican Sylvester this evening, which is just fully carbonated and is doing the job rather well. Perfect for Christmas. So anybody that knows me, guess what your Christmas present's going to be. Yes, I don't know. I sometimes do. This is going to sound awfully snobbish, and I really don't mean it to. But when you're watching the football, I know it's not what we had in the first season. I really understand that. Sometimes it is a little bit dull to watch, and that's putting it mildly. But look at it from a manager's point of view, or a chess game point of view, if you like, and try and enjoy it that way. I'm not saying I would much rather watch that football from the first season. It was fantastic.
I'm not paying £500 odd a year to watch bloody chess. I'm paying £500 odd a year to watch us win football matches.
No, I understand.
To an extent, I'm with Vic on this, although I'll phrase it slightly differently, which is I don't personally I don't particularly care how we win football matches. If we're going to lose football matches, I'd rather us lose entertaining football matches where we've had a go. But at the moment, we're losing football matches when we're not particularly having a go either. So if we're going to be really tactical and strategic about it, then we've got to win the games. And then if you win games and you're a bit boring, which happened for large parts of last season, then fans will generally just about accept it, because it's ultimately it's about getting those 3 points. So we had this conversation many times last season on the podcast. The problem that we've got at the moment is that we're not getting the best of any worlds. We're not getting any of it. We're not getting football that's particularly good to watch. We're not scoring, shitloads of goals. We're not really being entertained, and we're not winning matches. We are. Let's be fair. We're in relegation form right now. So I really find it difficult to really do anything other than criticise it right now.
Oh, and again, I understand. I absolutely understand that particular point of view. But
go on, give me the alternative. Give me the what am I not seeing that you're seeing? Because you're accepting the football's pretty dull. It's not exciting, fast, free flowing football. We're not winning games. Yet we've got injury problems. We had injury problems last season. We had injury problems the season before. Every club gets injury problems, and maybe ours are a little bit worse, a little bit less. But remember, we went into the season with one of the biggest squads in the league. We've got a lot of players. We should be able to cope with these kind of things.
And I thought we coped with the league lead as well. I really, really do. If you look at the defensive performance, I thought that was a good defensive performance.
It was all right. And I appreciate. We didn't win the game, did we? We didn't get anything out of the game.
No, and that's the big sort of elephant in the room, or elephant in my half full glass, if you like, is that we're not doing terribly well at the moment, which is really disappointing. And I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to defend this to the point where I'm saying everything's rosy and wonderful, but it could be worse, if you like. And considering that we have 9 players, first team players out, I don't think maybe we are where we should be at the moment. Is there an argument to say that maybe we can't really go gung-ho because we can't afford to lose any more players? Is there an argument to say that maybe Carlos is looking at the team and thinking, oh, hang on a minute here, if we go sort of guns blazing all out and pick up more injuries because of that fact, we're going to be even more trouble on there? Is there an element to the sort of wrapping this up in cotton wool?
That's very possible, but that doesn't explain why, when we didn't have 9 players out injured, we were also generally being very cautious and we weren't really going out to win football games. It's not like the way that we played against Wolves and the way that we played against Norwich is a particularly new thing. And actually, we were probably a bit more positive against Wolves than we have been for a few games. But this kind of approach that we've got to football games at the moment, it's not something that's just suddenly happened because we've had a few injury problems, is it? This has been a recurring theme for quite a while. You name me a game this season where we've really gone for it from the start.
Oh, James, I'm listening to you speak with just my hand in the air. You are just preach, James. You tell him.
Yeah, he might do me over. Yeah, let's see what he's got.
Well, the Leeds game. The Leeds game was marvellous. It was a fantastically good game of football. There was one other one, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there has been elements of this season where teams have essentially, and it's more their fault than it is us doing what we should be doing, if you like. Where Leeds was just a mess on Leeds' part, if you like. They gave us that space. They didn't.
That was in October though, wasn't it? September, October.
No,
I mean, come on.
It's a fair point. I did say any game this season. It's true. Against Leeds, we really did turn it on, and I think it is true that it was a real mare for Leeds on that day, and for 45 minutes against Aston Villa, I thought we were really good and we really turned it on. But that's 120 minutes of 135 minutes of football this season. I can see that injuries is playing a part in it, but I don't see that you can pin everything on that as to why we are now. And the ultimately thing that this comes down to is that the problems are many. The problems are many and they are varied. But the problem is the solutions that we have available to us are not plentiful. There aren't that many things you can do. You can't just get rid of all your players and bring in new players. We can't do anything in terms of the players until January anyway, which is granted only a fortnight away, but we also know that it isn't an empty, a blank checkbook, is it? We've got major financial pressures surrounding us in terms of what we can do in January. So when you find yourself in this situation where, you know, things really aren't going your way, fans are really not happy with the football that you're playing, you're not getting the results that you need, and you look at the options that you've got available to you where you can do something differently and try something differently, I can only really see one conclusion that you've got to come to about, well, what are we going to do to try and turn this around and do something different?
And that's one of my points, and has been for sort of this week on Twitter, is we have limited options at the moment, and we have many and varied problems at the moment, and I honestly don't think that maybe 70% of those problems can be aimed at Carlos, and I think he's taking the brunt of.
No, but you can't dissect every single problem, work out whose fault it is, and therefore how you go about fixing that. You know, football doesn't work that way. And what you have to do is take a general stock on where you are right now and say, are we happy with where we are right now? Are we confident about the way things are going to go from here on? If it continues the way that it is now, do we see any great thing around the corner that makes us think, oh, actually, this is just a bit of a dodgy spell? And you know, I think that the argument about injuries would be more valid if we'd have been turning out results when we'd got all our players available to us at the start of the season. I have to argue that argument kind of becomes a little bit null and void when, you know, we've not been getting the results or really putting in the performances at any point during the season, regardless of what personnel we've had available to us.
Well, that's the thing. The big bits that are missing, in my personal opinion, and the bits that really sort of stand out that aren't there is pace in the team, which is, yes, our recruitment could have been better. Again, not solely laid at Carlos's door, that one. As we all know, Carlos identifies the positions that need sorting out, gives a wish list of the players that he'd like, and he might get 3 or 4 down from what he wanted from that wish list, which I understand. Again, like you said, we haven't got a blank check, but we can't just do what we want when it comes to these sort of things. But at the same time, missing the pace is essentially missing Fessy, which is a big miss. And yes, we should have been looking for recruitment for some pacey players, because that's really what's missing at the moment. Again, right in the middle of the park, the player that not just stops the other team sort of progressing, if you like, but who can pick out a pass, who can absolutely run his gonads off, is Hutch. These are massive things that we are missing, and I don't think that's enough, if you like. And I know you think I'm making excuses, and you think that Carlos is making excuses, but I don't think enough emphasis has been put on how much we are missing those 2 particular players. And it is a massive miss, and they haven't been playing for the majority of the season. And when they were playing earlier on this season, clearly there were injury issues. And I think it's a good thing that they have now been given time to go away, to get treatment, to recover properly. Otherwise, it's just going to continue where we just filling these players full of painkillers. And I also think that was the problem with Fessy towards the end of last season as well, is we were just filling him full of stuff that's going to make him not hurt while he's playing football. And clearly, in my personal opinion, that's going to stem his creativity. It's not going to be great, and maybe he wanted to go and get treatment, and he wanted to go and get sorted, and I think that's been the biggest problem.
But is that, are you saying with your hand on your heart that you think when Hutch and Fessy are back in the team that we will be playing beautiful, wonderful, eye-catching, gorgeous football, and we're going to be winning games? That's what we need, that's going to turn it around, those 2 players.
Absolutely. And the reason I think that is because they don't always maybe follow the rules what Carlos sets down for them. As we've mentioned a few times on the podcast previously, I miss the art of football rather than the science of football. Carlos is very much about the science of football, whereas Fessy and Hutch play clever football, but they play it with heart as well. And I think we're missing that heart. We're missing someone that's going to say, right, yeah, Carlos has told us to do this and this, but this is what I'm going to do within that system. And we don't have players that seem to be... Reach I've seen glimpses of it from Reach, if you like.
You're just hitting on the real key problem here, which is that you're saying what we need is a couple of players that don't quite play to Carlos' system. Is that not a huge acknowledgement? The problem is Carlos' system.
Not so much Carlos' system, but we have no actual flair player at the moment. We've seen it from Hooper a few times, obviously with the things that he sometimes does to link that play. We've seen it from Reach a few times, in my opinion, where he is running past players, he is putting crosses in. He did it against Wolves. I can think of two sort of off the top of my head where he ran past players and he put crosses in. And that, I mean, the space that Palmer was allowed, if you like, was created from other players. And those are the bits that are doing really well. But sometimes when you are trapped into a corner and when things aren't going quite well, you just need that bit of flair. And that, I think, is what we're missing.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. What I've got to kind of take myself back to here is something that I said in the summer that a few people, Fudge said the same as well, and a few other people kind of agreed with me on it. That is that the conclusion of last season was that allowing Forestieri to kind of do what he wanted wasn't really working, and what we needed to do was to kind of plan moving forward for Forestieri not to be part of the starting 11, and we need to pick a team that play to a system and that make that system work, and having someone that doesn't turn up just as many times as he has a great game, which is the kind of player that Forestieri is. Sometimes it is like playing with 10 men. If it's not his game, then forget it, he's not there. I concluded after last season that the only way we were going to make progress was to not be reliant on a flair player like that, because it doesn't work within a system. So I can't now turn around and go, actually, no, I was completely wrong during the summer, and actually that's exactly what we need to do, because it didn't work for us last season because we didn't get to the playoff final, we didn't get promoted, and we weren't playing great football.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why I concluded that, right, we've got to get rid of the flair players. We've got to build a team that sticks to a system that grinds out wins, and that can break down any team in this league. And at the moment, we've got none of it.
And you're
that's what makes me think it's the system that's wrong. And even you yourself said on Twitter this week, and I've been following. I thought some really interesting conversations that you've had with people. But you yourself even acknowledged that it would be interesting to see us play with a 3-5-2 formation. You talk about pace and how you can get that into a team. Playing with a different formation, a different system, is a way of forcing some pace into your team, because it creates space where there wasn't before, because of where players are and how players are positioned within that formation. Why are we not looking at that? Why are we not doing it?
What I actually said on Twitter is, yes, I would love to see us play a 3-5-2, and I think it would really suit our game for the players that we have. But those particular players that I think would slot into that system really well aren't playing at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think
do it anyway,
right
would it?
now.
We know even if every single player that we had was fit, Carlos would not play 3-5-2. He won't do it. He'll play 4-4-2, or he'll play a 4-1-2-1-1 diamond, 4-1-2-1-2 diamond formation, whatever it is. And that's kind of the only sort of things that he'll entertain at the moment. He just doesn't seem willing to try anything different, and that's what leads me to this conclusion that we are out of ideas. And the problem is that we've only really got 2 or 3 ideas to start with, and they're not working, and we're not coming up with anything new, we're not coming up with anything fresh. We're just trying, take Rhodes out and put Fletcher in, play him in exactly the same way in the same position. It doesn't work.
Yeah, so the big thing that we're missing there is Dave. Because Dave does all this that we've been speaking about beautifully.
Look, if
you choose to admit it or not.
If you are genuinely saying that Ati Nuyu is the answer, then I dread to think what the question genuinely was.
But then you said that you wanted change. We don't have much option for change at the moment. When you can't deny it, we whip these videos out on Twitter. Even James from the Also podcast, who is like the biggest Dave hater in the world, admitted that Ati. Not admitted, noticed, shall we say? It's not an admittance because it is something that you can see for yourselves. Look at the videos I put out on Twitter. He creates a massive problem for defence, and it's not just when he's on the ball; it's when he's off the ball as well. People are shit scared of him. Excuse my French.
My only problem with
it didn't work, did it? When Dave was our big striker, when Dave's played in games, it didn't work. So what's going to make it suddenly work now? All that's actually happened is that he was out for a few games. After the Sheffield United game, everyone was like, why are we not playing Zhao? Zhao's the best striker that we've got. He's better than all the other wastes of money. Just because, he'd had a half-decent game. So we played him a couple of games afterwards and he was rubbish. And everyone was like, oh, actually, he's not very good.
But then you say you want change.
The last couple of games when Dave's come on, he's not done anything.
But then when you say that you want change and people offer you a solution to that change, and this is something I'm not.
That's playing a different forward line, isn't it? That's not playing a different system. What you're actually saying is that allows you to lump it forward.
No, it's not the lumping.
And go back to the Megson days.
No, that's the point. That's what people think that New does. They think, oh, we can lump it to him, we can knock it down. Yeah, we can lump it to him. Yeah, he can knock it down. But for a big man, he's very, very good. I've seen him sort of taking on players, and while people are running at him, there are various different videos I've put out there. I do suggest that you have not you, Jay, but anybody out there that wants to see what I'm talking about, have a little look at the videos and watch the players around Dave when he's actually playing, because he's such a big man, and because people don't expect him to take players on, they gravitate towards him. And when they gravitate towards him, that opens up so much space everywhere else. And a lot of the things that Dave does, it's not Hollywood football, but it creates the space for other players to create Hollywood football on there. He's not going to be a 20-season goal striker. He's never going to be that. That's not what I expect him to be. But he is such a team player that he will drag all these people out of defence because they will want to say, oh, crikey, look at that big man. And when he is in the box and he is dragging, look at the goal he scored against, was it Hull? And everybody, and again, this is very clever tactics, I thought. We found Nuhu, we found Hooper and Rhodes run into the box, and they took the defenders with them into the box. And the one person that stood back was Nuhu. And he waited for the cross. He watched the cross come in. He wasn't there at the right place at the right time. He watched the ball come in and he put it in the goal. Because, in my opinion, Hooper and Rhodes had dragged the other players out. And that's normally what Dave does. He normally does that role. But because people think, oh, crikey, there's Gary Hooper, there's Jordan Rhodes, let's do that, they forget about this big man. But then when he's got the ball, they gravitate towards him.
I'll stick it out there that I actually hope that he plays the next couple of games now. Partly because I just want to see a couple of games of him doing what I've spent 2-3 seasons watching him actually do, which is not very much. And then hopefully this argument we can put to bed. And I'd like you to agree now, Lord H, that if he does start a couple of games and doesn't do anything, that you've got to stop this crusade.
It's not a crusade.
You've got to accept the fact that he's not very good at football and he's not the solution to our
I am
problems.
Never going to say that. I have proven.
And please, for my sanity, that means I don't have to listen to you spouting all this stuff out ever again.
But I have provided. It's not, because I have on numerous occasions provided evidence to back up my theory on Dave on Twitter, on the podcast, and you can by all means look at some videos, look at it yourself. Nobody has ever come back to me with evidence to show that. They'll mention a few misses that he's made, and they have been bad misses. Don't get me wrong, and we all know those misses are. But nobody ever comes back and say, well, can you remember when Jordan Rhodes missed that sitter? Or can you remember when Gary Hooper missed that sitter? Or can you remember when every shot that Fletcher seems to have at the moment goes massively over the ball, massively over it's just ridiculous. But nobody mentions that because everybody's on this bandwagon that we must hate Dave.
Well, they're not, are they? It's just that there's some people that are genuinely saying that is the solution to our problems. That's the issue.
I'm not saying it's a solution.
And this is just a fun thing, isn't it? When Rhodes wasn't playing, everyone was like, "Gotta start Rhodes. He's the answer to the problems." When Zhao wasn't, as I mentioned earlier, when he had a couple of good appearances off the bench, everyone was like, "He's the answer. And now it's just that At is the answer. None of these players are actually the answer because they don't get around the fact that the rest of the thing isn't working.
So of all the, and I see this
if Dave's that big an answer, bloody make him the manager. Get rid of Carlos. Stick Dave in the dugout. If he's that much of a master tactician and can knows exactly how to do all this stuff, then he'll obviously be able to teach them how to do the stuff that Carlos isn't teaching them how to do.
It's not a case of teaching them how to do it. It's a case of doing it on the pitch. And in my opinion, I would like to see Dave for longer than more than sort of 10 minutes at the end of the game. Even the saviour of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club needs more than 10 minutes to sort out some of the messes that the rest of the team put him in before he comes to sort them out. But all that said, obviously, and a lot of people are saying, I want change, I want this, I want that. I'm trying to give solutions and trying to look at other options of what we can do. What would you like to see in this particular current situation right now, Jay? You mentioned you want some change. What do you want to happen right now?
I just want new. I want new ideas. I want fresh ideas into the club.
Oh, and everybody wants that, and I'm trying to provide them, which you have poo-pooed. So, in your opinion,
but you're not. You're
be?
talking about going backwards 2 years. That for me is not
It's
a
not
solution.
backwards.
Well,
You can't say that a Sheffield Wednesday player
your opinion
that we
that
pay
it's
money
not,
to
that,
is going backwards.
Well, no, he's a squad player, isn't he? He was there because we thought, we better keep him as a backup for Fletcher. That's why we ultimately kept him at the.
We've got Zhao for that. We've got a big tall man in Zhao.
If he was out of contract last summer, would we have given him a new contract, or would we have let him go?
Personally, I'd have given him a new contract.
No, well, not. Yeah, but do you think that we'd have given him a new contract, or do you think we'd have let him go?
From what I see from Dave when he's on the pitch, yes.
Okay, I'm hoping there's lots of people shouting while they're listening to this, going, "Yeah, we'd have let him go."
And I would love.
And I think if
people,
a decent bid had come in from him during the summer, we'd have let him go anyway.
And if any of those people can provide evidence, like I provided, why we should get rid of Dave, brilliant. But, I'm happy to listen to it.
The thing is that when Dave does something good, it makes it into the highlights reel. So it's quite easy to go through highlights reel and pull out things that he's done good. When he does something that's terrible, it doesn't make it into the highlights reel. It's not that easy to just say, well,
misses.
when Dave makes a right donkey up of something, and it ends up, let's never show that ever again on YouTube or anywhere. I wouldn't know how I go about pulling together all that stuff, but I've been there and I've seen it. I've missed about 3 games in the last 4 seasons, home and away, and I've seen everything that Dave's done while he's been on a football pitch for Sheffield Wednesday. And I know there's been a lot more that's been pretty useless than there is that's been brilliant and that's made it into your highlights reel. I can't even tell you which bloody player started against Wolves. I can't give you examples, but I've been there and I've seen it, and I know that it happened.
And
is there anyone else still here? Is it just us? Has everyone just... Vic, Vic, have you abandoned us, or are you there?
He's going to look at the north.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, hello.
Sorry,
I apologise. I've been on.
Fudge is here as well.
Hey, Fudge, you've been. How the show for you?
How long have you been there?
I can't remember. I've been here for about 10, 15 minutes, just sat here, just idly scribbling. I've done that S.
Fudge, we could have been texting. We could have been sexting by now.
Come on, Fudge. Wade in.
I played 4 games of Words with Friends during this time.
Sorry,
I
Jake,
apologise.
What were you going to say? Go on.
I was saying this is the moment where you wade in with your size 13s or whatever. And,
I nearly wanted to wade in about 14 times, but I didn't want to break any of your flow.
Can you not? Because I've got work in the morning, and it's just going to keep going.
Either of you are wrong. I do agree, Jay, that the pair of you that change needs to happen. I agree with you that yes, all we're doing is essentially playing the same football, but changing this geezer for that one, and it's not going to change the world. I'd like to see, if we are going to play New Who, to fall down on Lord Hillsborough's side, if we are going to play New Who, I'd like to see us play football that would play to his strengths. But we're not playing New Who football, we're not playing Jordan Rhodes football, we're not playing Stephen Fletcher football, we're playing Carlos Carvalho football. And
Thank you, Fudge. That could have saved 40 minutes of this bloody podcast then.
I thought Fudge was being spanked in the background. Quite worried.
It was quite forceful.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was when you've been sat here with your sodding earphones on for the last half an hour.
But
well done, Fudge. Well said, Fudge.
I think what we're missing through all of it is do you remember what's the face? The Brighton playoff when we finished, when we were going to Wembley, and we danced and sang and jumped and cheered for an hour after kickoff. There was a geezer climbing the banners. They opened the bars, which brilliant. Cheers, lads. Where did that team go? Where did that team spirit go? I mean, the only real addition to the squad since then is, the biggest one's been Stephen Fletcher. Is he a detriment onto the morale of the club? You know, who knows? I'm just speculating, but that team morale seems to have gone, that bounce. And if you look over the other side of the city, they've got a great team ethic there. And let's think of the absolute worst could happen. The Sheffield United go all the way, they get promoted, and they get into Premier League football. That crop of players that they've got shouldn't be where they are now, let alone in the Premier Bloody League. But I think morale goes a long way. And I think bounce and lift and engagement goes so far. You know, a lot of us do it in our own work, and we respond to it in a way. But I am despairing with the way we're playing football, because we're not changing anything. We're just changing John for Steve, for Trev, for Alan, and doing the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely understand exactly what you're saying. That team morale is a little bit difficult to come by sometimes. But the one man that is really, really, really still pushing that team morale, and I'm going to say it, is Dave.
I did see the video of him clapping on and saying, "Oh, yeah, get your head up and look it." And I don't ever question that. Do I think he's a Sheffield Wednesday football club? I don't. But
well, you're wrong.
But yes,
the problem is, my lord, and I tried to say this at 23 minutes. The problem is that if you bring Dave in now, as we are playing, and I wholeheartedly agree that he has been the only person that's made any sort of life come into this team in the last few games. I totally agree with that. I don't think I do think he's the saviour of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, but I have to edge my bets a little bit here. But I think he will become the scapegoat, like 100% the scapegoat. If we like mess up. Ow, wait, I need a gin for this. Oh, you go. Thank you.
Gin.
Sorry.
Are you going to do some kind of sign-off like Leonardo DiCaprio?
Trust me, Fudge. If you'd have listened to that, you'd need a gin. Anyway,
I've just poured a second beer for the first of many podcasts since I've had 2 beers during the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I was just having water, but now it's definitely just a straight gin, babe. But yeah, I think the problem will be that he will become the scapegoat. Everyone will forget the whole Carlos thing. You know, the wallpaper will be rolled up. No one will be waving that around in the stands, and it'll all become on his shoulders. And I don't think at this point in time he deserves that.
Not at all. And I think a lot of that pressure at the moment that is being shouldered by Carlos. I think he's protecting the players. I think he could come out and
he's blaming us. He's not protecting the players. He's just trying to turn it round. It's classic deflection. My chefs do it at work. You know what I mean? This table classic deflection. This table's took 20 minutes. Yeah, well, nobody else did the prep. Well, just get the effing food out, man. You know what I mean? That's what I'm here for. I'm just sat here. I don't want your excuses. I don't want your jive. Just get the bloody food out. I don't care that nobody's chopped bloody celery. Do you know what I mean?
But that is not an excuse. It's an explanation.
What? Nah. So, no, it's not. It's an excuse because I'm not waiting for bloody celery. You don't cook celery. Do you know what I mean? So
that's my analogy of the night, Fudge. You do not cook celery, Carlos. What are you doing? Got all your meats on the fire.
Put your meat on the bloody fire and stop chopping celery. 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Don't, start playing some exciting football and getting some points on the board instead of blaming the fans for whinging and mourning. Get in the bin.
If nothing else, Fudge, I would like to thank you for giving us the name of this week's podcast, because that saves me doing a lot of things. Love it. Well, I think it's become apparent that we are not going to agree on this subject, boys and girls, which I think is fantastic. That's our whole point about football. I think it's wonderful that we're not all coming on and we're not all agreeing. And obviously, the Wednesdayites out there, I am probably going to get quite a lot of crap, but this is my personal opinion, which is fine. Everybody's got their opinion, even if it's wrong.
Whether you're celebrating a birthday, a wedding or anniversary. Maybe you've passed your driving test, or you've landed a new job. Well, whatever your reason for a party, the Riverside Cafe is the perfect location on Catch Bar Lane overlooking Hillsborough Stadium. To inquire about hiring us for your function, call 07989 856 054 or 0114 232 6121.
There has been some good news this week, boys and girls. The third kit is going to be released and we can go and buy it. Yay!
Nope. You're a bit behind. It's already out and it's sold out.
Say you can't buy it unless you're a 5XL or a junior willing to pay 50 quid a shirt.
Yay!
I think it went
Well,
on
we
sale
can
on
always-
the official website at like 12:30, and by 12:57 it had sold out.
Fantastic. Well, that just goes to show the quality of that particular shirt and how much people want it.
Or the fact that we
Oh,
ordered
dunno.
5.
Ask Fudge. He's got something to say.
Oh.
What,
Oh, he's dug it off.
I don't know what you mean. What are you talking about?
Because you were giving it some
What are you
right stick earlier. You were slagging it off to high heaven, that shirt.
It's shit.
Oh, well, I told you got something to say. I thought it might be a bit
Let's
more
be
elegant, but
fair to
no,
him.
that was it.
Let's be fair to the guy that designed it, though. Carl Nuttall looked beautiful on the pictures of the
Absolutely.
design. You just didn't expect Elevate to be stitched at quite a dodgy angle. Like it looks like they've stitched the L and the Vate together by accident. It's just, who lets a drinks brand create the shirts?
Yeah,
Send him a taxi.
So what I did, I tweeted the owner of the company that makes the shirts. I also had a back and forth with somebody about how shit it looks. Now, it's just a poor quality item. It really is. It looks like something that goes in a Sports Direct bargain bin. It really does. And like you said,
But that's what's even worse, Fudge, because last season it was the Sports Direct bargain bin, wasn't it? And now it's even worse.
55 quid on the website. But you know, I get really frustrated that I have a standard in my head of what it should have been, and that thing that Carl designed was perfect for me. It was exactly what I expected. You know, it was a sports fit. It had this nice little neat logo on it. The stitching didn't look like it was done by the Olympic blind swimming team. You know what I mean? It looked nice. And what we've done is managed to just ruin it. I remember we got these. You know, you have to do different types of technology classes at school, and one of them was woodwork and artwork and graphic drawing, and one of them was textiles. I remember it was like the early '90s, and we got these sewing machines that you just typed in a bit of text, and are you ready, kids? It wrote the text on the fabric. I mean, Jesus, Mary, Joseph. You know what I mean? This was cutting edge. So that's essentially what we've used to put the logo and that god awful Elevate Publisher 97 thing onto this shirt. We've used one of those. I think one of those actual machines.
Word art.
Yeah, word art combined with Dillington Comprehensive 1993 sewing machines. That's what's used to create it, and how that's taken 4 or 5 months to get put together is absolute beggar's belief. Honest, it can get in the bin, and I'm devastated because Carl designed a lovely shirt there, and props to him. But we've ruined it. We've ruined it hard.
I hate to add to the moan here, but guys, you saw last weekend. No. 2 weeks ago, my friend announced that she was having a little baby owl, and you know the friend that did the Hi Ho Silver Lining first dance at the wedding that like went viral on Paddy Power and everything. Yeah, they're having a baby. And I went into the shop to go and get my mother's Christmas list because she can't be arsed to get it herself. So I had to drive over. I had like arms full of like the t-shirts that we've got in there are absolutely superb. For 20 quid, you can get really nice Subutio t-shirts, really smart shirts with like the badge on that you could wear downtown, no one would know, all that. I went over to the baby kits. I thought, I know it would be a really, really cute gift for them this Christmas. I'll get them this absolute, well, dog shite of a kit season like kit thing. £50. 50 English pounds for an age 6 to 9 months, I think it was, shirt. Didn't even have press studs on it. Didn't even have a badge. It was printed, which my other half said, oh, at least it won't come out in the wash. But all I can think is when my dad used to buy me like a Barcelona shirt on holiday, and it'd be like €5 or 5,000 pesetas or whatever, and it'd just be printed. Do you know what I mean? It'd just be printed on nylon, and it was 50 quid. £50? No, like the adult shirts were £1 cheaper. I'm not paying £50 for a dishcloth. No chance. So I bought them one from an independent store instead. Sorry.
Well, if that child grows up to be a Sheffield United fan, I'm blaming you, Victoria. You've clearly ruined that children's
To be
life,
fair, it's
especially-
blown out a season, so by the time it needs a shirt, this season's shirts will be back in stock, so it'll be all right.
Yes, but it will have, it would have had, should I say, a magical piece of Sheffield Wednesday history with the 150th anniversary.
I don't want to do that. This is my future, like, fake niece or nephew. I don't want to be that auntie that buys them the awful shirts. They'll hate me forever.
But there will be Wednesdayites, and you've just ruined it, Vic. I'm disappointed in you, my dog. But I understand what you're saying, of course. It is an expensive garment, if you like. But there has been lots of pictures of kids and not just wearing this new kit, but wearing the Wednesday shirt. And when you see the pictures of the kids and obviously the adults, the grown-ups that wear this as well, they are still wearing it with pride. And sometimes when you see those sort of pictures, and I mean, I look back at my ridiculously large collection of kits from the 90s and things, and I don't know how much they cost, but I love them. I really, really do.
But you can still wash them now. Like, you wash that in a week's time and your badge will be on your shoulder. It's just a joke.
No, I understand what you're saying. Absolutely.
It's just a shirt, though, isn't it? Isn't it?
It is, but it's still 50 quid of my money. That's 80 minutes worth of football at Hillsborough, isn't it?
It's a piece of Wednesday history.
Doing it to wind us up.
Who is?
You are. You know what you're doing. You're winding us up.
I honestly think I cannot understand why anyone over the age of 10 gets rattled about a football shirt. It's just a football shirt.
It's
just
still
get
a
over
fetus.
it.
I
doubt they're going to be worried too much about it. They're just wondering where all their essential fluids are coming from right now. They're not going to be wondering about what football shirt they're going to be popping into a month after they escape from their current hidey hole. Bloody hell! It's a football shirt. You all need to get over yourselves.
But I think we can all agree that we look back on some of the kits that we've seen before and thought, wow, I'd love to own that now. Things like the green and white hoop shirt, for instance, and we would pay money for that kit now.
Yep.
In any of the Sanderson
looking down the line. Exactly, absolutely, and looking down the line, we don't think how much they cost back then, and the anniversary 150th Sheffield Wednesday shirt, which has been specially brought out for this wonderful special time, which I know could have been more special, but in looking down the line, that kit will be one of those kits. I honestly believe that it will be. Like
no, it won't. Don't be stupid.
Yes, it will. I think you're right. I think it'll be. Do you remember this? Do you remember this one? Oh yeah, we all thought it was horrible. Thing of beauty, that, isn't it? Yeah, I think.
No.
But bear in mind that green and that Celtic-y shirt, we all thought was bloody awful when it came out. The same as that grey one. Nobody liked it, and I think that's gonna. I genuinely believe that's gonna get remembered as one of those classic quintessential kits of the time. You know what I mean? In about 20 years.
But no one will have one because it'll just have holes in it. They'll have ironed it wrong. It'll have all just gone to pot, won't it?
Hawaiian's a football shirt.
Oh, don't start that again.
Yeah, hang them up in the airing cupboard. It's like when men have a stew. You fill it up with water and you soak the pan. You don't wash the bloody pan straight away, do you? Who are these mentalists washing pans and ironing football shirts?
Jeeves is that mentalist. Right, so if I can't bring you positivity with the brand spanking new wonderful 150th anniversary Sheffield Wednesday football kit, how about we try and be a little bit more positive about the Middlesbrough game? Is anybody excited for that one? Because they aren't brilliant at the moment either.
Yeah. I'm only excited for Christmas drinks. Christmas drinks. I'm watching James after 5 Belgian Blues. That is my excitement for Saturday.
I aim to please. I'm excited about it because it's a Saturday 3:00 kickoff, and we've not had one of those for a while, have we? I don't think we have. I think was it Bristol City was the last 3:00 Saturday.
Yes, it was a while.
And before that, it was I don't know, like Gillingham when they were in the Championship or something. It was ages ago. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. And, yes, Christmas drinks will be had. And you know what? I mean, it's one of those games, isn't it, where we're not expecting to get anything out of it, so we might be brilliant. Who knows? I also think, and I've said this to people, if people genuinely are dreading it, then just don't go. You know, if going to football is that dependent on us playing well and winning games, then you probably shouldn't be bothering going to football, because it's more than that, isn't it? There's all the other stuff that goes with it. So just, you know, just chill, just enjoy it, have a beer.
But Middlesbrough are going through something similar at the moment, aren't they? They lost to Millwall at the weekend. Yeah, they won Ipswich, but they lost to Bristol. They lost 3-0 to Derby. So their fans aren't terribly pleased at the moment as well. So do you think, again, I know we say it quite a lot, but do you think their sort of fans are having a similar sort of conversation on the Middlesbrough Week podcast
I think there are two exciting things about this game, and one of them I think might shock a few people, especially those who have to sit around me at Hillsborough, is that Jordan Rhodes could possibly try and prove himself and really, really go for it on Saturday. I think he could. There's potential for a Jordan Rhodes moment, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I'm a bit fed up of him and all. But I do really think that this could be his chance to prove that Middlesbrough made a mistake. He's the one to watch, blah, blah, blah. The other thing is that it's Christmas, and don't you just love at the end of the match at Christmas when you wish everyone around you who you just have little like grumbles with all year round, like, oh, bloody Wallace, like, and you get to say, right, happy Christmas, have a lovely Christmas, see you in the next year. Ooh, I love that bit. That's my favourite bit.
And then everybody turns up on Boxing Day with their new scarves and their new hats and gloves.
It's the last match of 2017, isn't it?
No.
No?
No.
Last home game?
It's the last home game. We're away.
Yeah, so it's the last chance I get to say bye to the nice man
Forrest
beside me in the leather jacket.
And we've got Brentford on the 30th. So we've got 2 more games.
Yeah, but I'm not going to them. So, I mean, for me to say bye to, like, let's call him Alan, who sits next to me. I don't know his name. It'll be nice. I like that bit. And Ben behind me and his dad. And I get to say bye, have a nice Christmas. My mum gives Richard in front some sweets for his kids. It's lovely. I like that bit. I just don't want to watch March.
The only thing I'm slightly worried about you being disappointed about is when the saviour of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, Atting, who starts the game, scores a hat-trick and Jordan Rhodes...
Instead of Jordan Rhodes. I'll be happy either way, let's be honest.
But Leatherman is still going to get a great big sloppy Christmas kiss from Victoria. Go on, Alan.
He's a nice man. We had a bit of an argument a few years ago, but we get on now. It's fine.
Right then, chaps and chapettes. So let's have, because we've not done this for a while, let's have a score prediction from you guys, because we've got the Middlesbrough game and, as James quite rightly mentioned, we've got the Forest game as well, because I don't think we're going to get another podcast in, because Victoria's got Alan's to look after. So, if I may be so bold, may I ask you for a score prediction, first of all, against Middlesbrough? Let's go with Victoria first.
Oh, bloody hell. Do you know what? I'm going to... As negative as I've been, I feel that your argument has made me more positive because I've just been sat here watching like Dirty Dancing in my head. So I'm going to go 2-1 Wednesday, Jordan Rhodes.
Fantastic. Jamesy, I'll be
1-1.
Not quite as positive. Is your glass still a little bit half empty?
No, in actual fact, I think.
Yeah, but he was in the conversation, wasn't he?
I think it'll be 0-0, and I can't say that because that sounds really negative. So I'm going 1-1. But I honestly
Fudge,
think it'll be 0-0.
No.
Fair enough.
I can't think of anything else. That's all I've been sat here thinking when you were doing your thing. I was sat here going, no. Yeah, it's going to be 0-0.
Well, I obviously think it's going to be a 7-0 win. 5 of them scored by Dave in the last 10 minutes, and possibly a couple by Mr. Rhodes, just to give him that middle bit up. And of course, we have got Forest coming up. And again, Forest are one of those teams that I don't think they have much expectation, but they are doing rather well considering at the moment, aren't they? Because they are going through a terrible time. Do they still have a transfer embargo, Forest? Am I right in saying that?
I think that's finished now. I think that's finished.
Is that finished? Yeah, absolutely. I think they're still doing a bit of a rebuild job. But again, you can't argue with what they've been doing this season either. So again, against Forest, may I ask for a score prediction? Victoria, we'll go with you first.
1-0 Forest, I'm afraid. I think because the thing was, when we were all talking about, call us out, I think it would have been very, very difficult to sack him before the Wolves game. I think it would be treacherous to sack him after the Wolves game because no matter what point in the season, we all kind of presumed in a way that we would lose that. So I don't see that as an issue particularly. But I do think that Forest will be the point that it'll all go back to shit.
That breaks the camel's back, shall we say. Jamesy, Albin, what about you?
You're right. I think they're doing better than they expected us to do this season. I think Mark Warburton is. I've always liked him. I like the cut of his jib, as they say. I actually think we'll win.
I thought you said jeans then.
Well, that lovely jeans as well. Very nice. I think we'll win. I think we'll win 1-0.
Fantastic. Fudgy, or Bean?
I think it'll 1-1. I think, you know, just it's all I've got. It's all I've got. But
Do you like the cut of his jeans?
Well, I couldn't give a shit about his jeans, about the football career. You know what I mean? There's
I've never heard Dan Fudge so unanimated as this.
It's just bummed me out. Just everything. I'm just bummed. You know what I mean? You know, but in the old sense of the word. But I tell you what, Vic, you picked up on something there, and I don't know if you spoke about it before I came on, but the sacking. I don't think it'll happen. There is 6 months left to Carlos's contract. Him and all his mates have got jobs for the boys. They are well integrated into everything that's going off in the club. The physios, the coach, Carlos's mates. What are we going to do in January? Just absolutely just bin them off and go, no, it's not working. Here's a settlement, or do we just wait out 6 months and start again next season? And bear in mind, you know, Chansiri's already come out and said, I'm sticking by him. So, and this is it. I think this is just the catalyst of my malaise. It's just, you know, why bother? Why are we talking about getting rid of the manager? You know, I don't think he's going to go. If he does go, I'll be very surprised. I'll be even more surprised when people start talking about Gary Bloody Megson, like, you know what I mean? But, like, I just don't think it's going to happen. And I just think we've got another 6 months of shit football.
But personally, I think it's going to be another 7-0 win after we've after win for a 7-0. It's going to be a wonderful festive period. And if I may just combat, if you like, there, Fudge, I think you've been a little bit harsh on Carlos, because I honestly think if we didn't care about the football...
Oh, don't start again.
No, just last little bit. I think if he didn't care about what was happening, then we wouldn't see, because clearly he is feeling the pressure, I think, and some of the interviews and things that he's had, he is passionate, if you like. Maybe it's the wrong way.
Pissed off with himself for failing. You know what I mean? I don't think he understands where it's going wrong, and I think that's why he's getting angry. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I can't. Just.
I understand the point, absolutely. Right, then, ladies and gents, thank you for sticking with us this evening. First of all, Victoria, my darling, if people want to find you over there on the Twitterage, where can we do that?
Well, first of all, you're welcome that I stuck with you this evening. Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Vic. I do appreciate it. I should imagine the North Stand has been well and truly stared at. This
yes. And like I said, if you want to play me on Words with Friends or find me on Twitter, it's at Victoria1867. You can normally find me on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night at around 9 p.m. But on the other hand, just Merry Christmas to everybody, and I hope you have a blessed and wonderful 2018 and have a lovely Christmas.
Oh, bless you, my darling. Fudgy or Bean, where can we find you over there on the Twitterage?
You'll be looking around trying to cook some celery, or you can try and find me trying to find somebody else apart from Vic still playing Words with Friends after 2011. But yeah, I'm available on Twitter. Dan Fudge, if you some boring gags, just get involved. I'm not being funny at the minute. I just can't motivate myself.
Fudge, it's Words with Friends 2, so it's like the updated version.
Is it still Scrabble?
Yeah, but you can get like numbers, letter swaps, and you can get like hindsight, and you can. Oh, it's honestly, I'll add you. You'll have a lovely time.
Have I got to download another app? I'll tell you what I've been doing. Actually, this is quite entertaining. I will listen rather than the ones that I'm on of this show. And if you get to listen to Athletico Mince, the one with Bob Mortimer, it's genuinely very funny. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. No, not else much. Just. Oh, I did Moonlight on the Wolverhampton Wanderers podcast the other week. That was fun. I had to go on there.
Did you?
Yeah, I forgot to mention it.
You didn't tell us, bloody hell!
What? I just remembered.
You didn't tell us this?
Yeah, one of the Wolverhampton Wanderers podcast slid into my DMs, and he went, "Do you want to come here for the Wolves game?" well, yeah, that sounds fun. And I think I got in the phrase on their podcast, we've been to Wolves away. In fact, it's one of my podcasting colleagues' favourite ground to go to. And and we did, I think I called it something like a soulless concrete jungle or something like that.
Nice. That does it justice.
It does, I thought I was being quite colourful. And
did you mention that Jay spends the entire day in Birmingham until he has to go to Wolverhampton?
Yeah, we don't want to be in Wolverhampton, so we go to Birmingham right until the last minute. And then but the worst thing was, he didn't actually disagree with me. He didn't go, hey, we're a bit harsh. He went, yeah, you're right, yeah. Well, all right, smash in.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should follow Dan Fudge on Twitter. Honestly, one of my favourite Twitter follows of all time. I chuffing love you, Fudgy Hobby. Jamesy or Bean, if people want to find you over there on the Twitterage, where can we do that, my friend?
You can find me either at James Marriott, or you will find me in the festive spirit somewhere on Saturday. I'll definitely be having a few kind of final pre-Christmas beers, because I don't drink on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day. So it will be my final swan song of the festive period before buggering off to Nottingham on Boxing Day. And also, just to mention, to kind of try and slightly rival Dan Fudge making a guest appearance on the Wolverhampton Wanderers podcast, you will hopefully be able to catch me making a moonlighting appearance on one of our rivals this week on the Owls Americast, where I'm being drafted in basically to slag off Middlesbrough for 10 minutes. So I'm looking forward to that.
Of course, get all of me up there on the Twitterage at Lord H, and you can berate me for all my nonsense that I've been speaking this evening. That's at L0RD_H. Get all the podcasts at TWWcast as well. Find us on the YouTubes, find us on the Facebooks, and find us on our wonderful websites. James, because I don't remember the damn thing.
TheWednesdayWeek.co.uk.
.co.uk. That's the bit I always get chuffing wrong. Fantastic. Thank you, Jay. Ladies and gents, it has been a pleasure as always. Thank you so much for joining this evening. Be good, be safe, and we shall see you real soon.
There's a chance here, a great save. A turner from McLear. Might come. A terrific goal by Sheridan.
Rexman against Jones. Get in.
You could have two goalkeepers in there that would have trouble with saving that.
But yeah, she's coming up. She's going to spend Christmas with me, my mum, her family, and Sleepy Nan. So
I love a cheeky Nando's.
she's really excited about meeting Sleepy Nan.
I so look forward to Fudge's sleeping on pitch. I love that. That's genuinely one of the highlights of my Christmas.
People text me like Christmas Eve, don't forget Sleepy Nan, don't forget. And my mum sits there, and every time my nan just dozes off, my mum kind of nods and points like, "Look at her, she's asleep."